Okay, so welcome back to another video. This is going to be going over OTC charts, trading. You could take this and put this on currencies if you want to, the regular currencies that you get throughout the week. But I found this to work better for OTC for me. You could do this on OTC stocks or currencies. And I am super excited to have you here and to go over this little strategy with you and to basically give you some tips when it comes down to trading in the markets. We're not just going to go over a strategy today. We're also going to go over a little bit of mindset while talking about this strategy because, any strategy out there seems great and all, and you can make a lot of money with it. And it's 100% possible to make money with a lot of these strategies that you find out there. But you also have to make sure you have control of your emotions, you have control of you, and you are good with your timing, meaning you're not rushing in for the next trade. You're not trying to trade back to back to back to back. You want to look for the perfect entries. I see a lot of these YouTubers out here and they sit there and they do YouTube videos and it might look like 10 minutes long. And the video itself is 10 minutes long, but their trading session is not 10 minutes long. It's a lot longer. And if you just pay attention to the little time up here, you'll be able to see in between their trades how much time there really is that they're searching. They're thoroughly waiting for the market to provide them with the best signals. They're not going to sit there and flip through really, really fast and be like, you see your chart doesn't even load that fast. They usually speed up the video. So don't think that you have to be looking for trades extremely fast. They just fast forward it most of the time. Or some people are just able to do it very quickly, but that's probably because they have years of experience. So I just want to let you know that when it comes down to trading in OTC markets and the regular markets that are not OTC, you have to have that mindset. You have to have patience. You have to have control of your emotions. So let's get into the strategy. I just wanted to give you a little bit of advice there because I get a lot of questions on that. A lot of people message me in my inbox asking for advice, and my inbox is always open. You can find me on Telegram at Profits with Cat, and that link is in the description. You can also find me on Instagram at Millionaire Mom Life or Firestorm Trading. Firestorm Trading, if you don't know what that is my trading indicator that I have. And if you have any questions on that or you want to know about this custom indicator that sends you signals, it's literally amazing. It's been a game changer for me. And there's videos on it on my YouTube as well. Make sure you take a look at that. Click the link in the description and that will give you all the information on it. So make sure you subscribe and I hope to see you here more often. And let's get into this strategy. So basically, you're going to come here. Well, first of all, you're going to get to the 1 minute chart and you're going to go to the regular candles. And you're also going to come to your indicators. When you come to your indicators, you're going to bring on the alligator. So the alligator is right here. And the settings for that are right here. I actually leave them just the way they are. That's just what I prefer. And then the fractals I do change. So when you get them, you will have two. It will just say two here. But as you can see, you're going to get a lot more fractals and they're going to drive you a little insane. So what you want to do is you want to be looking for those reversals, kind of like when it hits the top and bottom of a Bollinger Band. So you can use a Bollinger Band if you want to. I like to use the fractals right this second for this strategy. Bollinger Bands are great for this too. And the style I just left. So we're going to move that period up from 2 to 5. And then for the stochastic oscillator, I did change that to 5, 3, and 3 instead of 14, 3, and 3. It shows you a much tighter and quicker reversal within the candles. And it's just my personal preference. I love it that way. That's what I teach my students in my course. I have a step-by-step course as well for binary options. So if you want info on that, that's in the description. So the MACD is one that I don't mess with either. Just like the alligator, I literally just left it the same way it is. You always want to look for that cross and that crossover with the MACD. So with that being said, I don't usually trade during this time. I'm recording this because my kids are not screaming in my ear at the moment and my husband's able to watch them. So we're going to kind of back test this and go over this together. So with this strategy, you're going to be looking for those moments where they give you that perfect reversal and that perfect trend down. Like this one is one of them. Now, even though this stochastic is not overbought, what you're going to see here is that it started to flick down. And as you're watching it, you're going to notice that the stochastic will flick down. And once it starts doing that flick down, you can kind of be sure that it's going to go down. It's like 70% chance that it's just going to continue down and just basically cut this in half and not even get to the overbought section. So with that being said, as you can see here, the candle started getting very small and it basically did the reversal. I don't know why pocket options just did that to me, but they just flipped my screen all the way back to the beginning. So here is another example here. You will see that the MACD was starting to come together here and the colors were changing. You got a fractal and this was overbought. And you could see that these were starting to curve. So at the time, they were going to be curving. And you would have been able to take it up here, or because of the stochastic where it sits, you would have been able to take it up there. Or you could have waited for the stochastic a little bit longer and waited for the MACD to confirm completely and then the alligator to start turning, and then you could have taken it up even longer. I take up 1 minute candles. It keeps pushing me back to the beginning. So I take it up 1 minute candles whenever I do this. So you always want to look for the perfect reversal. And I can tell you trading early mornings. So I am on Eastern time in the United States. So whenever I trade between 4 a.m. to around 8 or 9 a.m., sometimes 10 to 11, the way it, depending on the way it looks. Because OTC charts kind of act like the regular charts. They get rocky in the middle of the day in the New York session, what would be the New York session, but basically on the weekends. So they get rocky in the middle of the day. So I love trading early mornings. So when you see it, it will come up like GMT2 and it will be like 1300 or 1200 or 1100. And that will be your time, which is basically really early. So just Google this time frame right here and put it with your time frame and find basically what times work best for you. So for Eastern time, that's super early in the morning for me. So it works great. But I don't usually trade at night until it's right now it's 7:16 p.m. So I trade until after like 10 o'clock. That's when I start to notice the market goes back to giving me all the perfect signals, all the perfect setups. So even trading times are very important. You can't just like hop on pocket option and trade whenever you want, because there, I swear, there's like a zone where you can get caught up in. So these are the markets I like to trade in. And as my husband likes to put it, we only trade big candles here. And the big candles meaning you're in the green, you're in the safe zone when you trade with big candles. When you start trading with candles that look like this and they're super tight, it's going to be very difficult for you to have longer term trades that are over a minute. So just remember that if you like to do 3-minute trades, remember if you're in a tight market like this, you might want to go down to a minute trades and maybe 30-second trades. Here's a little golden tip for you on OTC charts. On a 1-minute candle, as you can see here, it does a pullback around the 30-second mark. See, it just did the pullback, 30-second mark, and it pushes back down a little bit and then pulls back a little bit more, and then it will push back down in the direction it wants to go in. But this candle is starting to become oversold, so it might be flipping right back up here soon. But at that 30-second mark, that's the most important mark. 30-second mark, it likes to do a pullback. So you might see it go in a direction and then pull back and completely flip on you, or it pulls back and then you can get in and take the candle for the rest of the way up. So I like to get in between the 45-second and the 30-second mark, or that pullback mark, because that makes my trade the safest within the 1-minute candle. So there's my little golden tip for you for OTCs. And as you can see, it was pulling back and now it's pushing back up in that direction. And I would always wait for that fractal. So like this one, even though this was not crossing yet, it was going up. And if I got the fractal in this, I would have taken this candle down, to be honest. I would have gotten a little risky. See, the more points, the better. The more crosses that you have, it's best to go by that instead of taking 1 or 2 confirmations. So with that being said, 1 or 2 confirmations is great. So confirmations meaning this fractal is a confirmation, this crossover is a confirmation, this crossover is a confirmation, and this flipping is a confirmation. And the alligator strategy, when it's open and it's showing a clear uptrend, that's a confirmation if it's showing you a buy signal. If it's starting to go down into a downtrend, that's a confirmation for a sell signal. So just remember that if it's on top of the alligator strategy and it's crossing through, well, if it's on top, you want to look for buy signals only. And the reason why I say that is the trend is your friend. Same thing with OTCs, just like it is with currencies. The trend is your friend. Still applies here because they're trying to act like the regular markets. So what is it going to do? It's going to want to go with a trend. As it's going through the alligator MAs, moving averages, SMAs, whatever you like to call them, as it's going through, I don't like to take a trade them because as you can see how indecisive it is. You want to make sure the alligator is opened back up again and it's showing clear trend. And then as it crosses through, it shows a clear trend back up again. And then you want to find your confirmations. So this is basically just looking for those confirmations, looking for those perfect moments. This isn't really the ideal perfect moment right now, but this is just a prime example showing you that this is what this strategy does. This is what it's all about. Here's a cross right here. Even though it is going through, it does show overbought. It is about to cross. And as you can see, the lines are getting smaller and smaller and smaller and flipping down. And the MACD was starting to turn down too. You got a fractal. You would have been able to take that for a minute down. So when I say take that for a minute down, you want to wait for a confirmation candle and then take a second candle. You don't want to wait. You don't want to just like see a fractal and be like, oh, I'm going to take it. Wait for the confirmation candle. Well, wait for this candle to end. Wait for a confirmation candle. Wait for another candle even if you want to. And then take it at that 30-second pullback mark for the rest of the way down. Or take the next candle right at the beginning and take it down because you got that confirmation. So remember that when it comes down to taking your trade, you want to make sure it's actually going into that direction. Thinking you're going to get ahead of the reversal can most likely lead you into a situation where you end up losing. You want to basically take your time with it. You want to make sure it's confirmed that it is actually going down, because if you're right here and you're like, oh, it's about to cross, and you put it in for 3 minutes or even for a minute, you can literally lose your money. And this is something a lot of people go through that I see. And when they come to me, they're like, oh, well, I put a call option for 3 minutes and it was about the reverse, and then it just didn't. And then it did right after my trade ended. And turns out they put in a 3-minute call option or sell option in this case right here, and it ended up messing them up here or right here because they thought it was going to turn. And it was going to turn, but you have to wait for the market to actually move. So that's one thing that can get you with OTCs, is they can catch you on those reversals pretty easily. So you got to wait for those confirmations. Always wait for the confirmations. As you can see here, just with the fractals alone, not looking at anything else, not even looking at the MACD. You can even take this out if you want to and just go by this. Look at how beautiful this looks. The MACD will just basically be showing you a trend. That's where I look at the MACD. I look at it mostly as a trend. But if you just want to work with the stochastic in this, overbought or oversold, fractal came up, confirmation candle, that candle, I would have waited to see a push up. And once I saw it pushing up, I would have gotten in at the 30-second mark or towards the end of it, and then gotten in after that. So as you can hear, the baby is starting to get upset in the background. He's out there with my husband. He's not the happiest camper right now because he wants his mom. So I'm going to go back and take care of them. If you have any questions, of course, message me. I'm on Telegram. I am on Instagram, and I'm also here on YouTube, of course. So it's really self-explanatory. Make sure you have those confirmations, and I will see you in the next video.